Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Hey now. How's that? Hey now. Was that a good one? Was it Howard?
I think you do better.
Was it Howard Stern level? Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. How now? Hey now. Hey now. Anyway.
Hey now, brown cow.
Yes. Were you ever a Howard Stern guy?
Oh yeah, Howard's a big inspiration on me. That's why I kind of wanted to get into radio and start a career in media.
Yeah. I'm a Howard Stern guy. So that's the hey now thing. Anyway, I'm getting off of the tangent of Howard. Anyway, hey, this is Bill Jett Ramey from Batman on Film. I'm the founder of this here website, and this is going to be episode number 9 of the Batman on Film Social Hour, which we just did a couple of days ago.
Is this going to be an hour?
Well, it's going to be the
abridged version,
the BOF Social 15 to 20 minutes. How about that?
Fair enough.
Anyway, Pete, we're going to talk about the breaking news, and this is why it's called Dun Dun Dun, an emergency Batman on Film Social Hour, or 15, 20 minutes, whatever. So come up, belly up at the bar, wherever you're at, grab you something to drink. I don't care what it is, adult beverage, milk, water, a Coke, whatever kind of Coke you want. That's a Texas thing right there, right?
Yes, it is. That's what I hear.
Yes. So the news is, Pete. Oh, this is Pete Vera, everybody. Pete Vera, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Weather's good over here. Let's get that out of the way.
You brought up weather. Don't get me going on it now. It was 80 yesterday. Now it's back in the frickin' low 40s. So that's not good. No bueno. No bueno. Come on, spring. Come on. All right. So anyway, let's get to it. Superman. We did a whole half a show on Superman and Lois the other day. And then we talked about, I said, and this was a topic for another time. I said, does Superman does it work better as a serialized TV series? Because, you've had success there with going back to George Reeves, and then, of course, Smallville and Lois and Clark, and now you have Superman and Lois. And that's not even mentioning the old Superboy live action, which was syndicated, right? So
right.
Anyway, and then boom, today, Deadline drops the news that Warner Brothers is rebooting Superman on Film. They are having J.J. Abrams, who signed a big ass deal with Warner Media, which includes HBO Max and Warner Brothers Pictures, to produce, which I'm sure he will pick the director. I don't know if he's going to direct himself, but if he does not, he will hire the director. But he has brought in Ta-Nehisi Coates to be the screenwriter of this new Superman movie. What are your thoughts? Just based on that, that was basically what the Deadline article said. They said wasn't sure about whether Cavill would return or not, but they did emphasize it was a reboot. So what do you think?
For me, I'm currently, I like Ta-Nehisi Coates. I have a copy of his Captain America number 27, volume 9. So I like what he's doing. I think he's a highly capable writer. I think he tells a good story. I think he's got a good grasp on comic book characters. I hear his run on Black Panther is absolutely phenomenal. It's on my to purchase list. I got to get on that now that he's a big time Hollywood guy. You got to, read as much source material, but I have a lot of faith in Coates. I think he'll write a damn good Superman story. I think because, we all think that, hey, look, Marvel's basically got Superman and Captain America, right? They're very similar characters. They've kind of like similar code of honor and ethics and similar values. So, you know, if you could write a good Captain America story, I feel like you can write a damn good Superman story. I feel like they're very similar characters, slightly different, but similar nonetheless. So I'm excited. It's just good news. We always wonder, like, oh man, like it seems that Superman on the big screen has kind of, stumbled a bit for a while, right? Like since 1978. Or actually, no, probably since Superman 2, and I forget, was that 83? Something like
81.
81. So Superman 2 was probably the last like beloved Superman movie universally, right? A lot of people like.
Correct.
No one seems to really like Superman Returns except myself.
I like it. I don't hate it.
Okay, you're one of the few.
Am I really?
It's not well loved. It is a movie that if you talk about, it's definitely debated. Not as probably as much as like a Man of Steel or BVS, but there is a lot of debate among that. I know Jen Jurgens. Sorry, Justin. He'll hear this and make fun of me for it. He is not a fan of the bastard father Superman. So it is a controversial movie in itself, and as was Man of Steel. So it's been a rough go. Superman 3 and 4 were bad movies, and but he's been very successful on TV. So it's interesting to see the reboot just get announced now, because it's you're wondering, are they going to take some time now that Superman and Lois is on TV? And now you think, oh, okay, people are speculating as to, well, what exactly are they going to do with this movie? Which Superman is it? And we'll see. Maybe Flashpoint will explore the multiverse, and we can explore different versions of Superman now. Okay,
so there's the next piece of this information that came in not long ago, following the Deadline report. And they are reporting that, and they even have quotes from Mr. Coates about the project, and they say this is being set up as a Superman movie that will feature a black Superman. And we know that previously, Peter, that there has been talk of that with Michael B. Jordan doing something based on, I believe, the Calvin Ellis version of that character. That's the one I'm familiar with, the Calvin Ellis, Kal-El, and I mean it's for Krypton and all that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's no hyphen.
Based on President Obama. He's president of the United States, right? And he's got Brainiac is his go-to dude or computer.
Secretary of Defense, Vice President, I forget. Made his first appearance in Final Crisis 7.
Yeah, and then kind of like fills in. So people don't suspect, right, that the president is Superman. Whatever. Okay, read that.
That's an interesting angle, making the most powerful man in the world the most powerful man in the world. That's hell of a movie. Yeah. The other prominent black Superman.
I was going to ask you about that. Please tell us.
Val Zod is a character that spawned out of the New 52. He was, as a result, in Earth 2, that was the series. Steppenwolf, ironically, invades Earth, kills the original guard, the original protectors. Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Diana Prince, I believe, die at the hand of Steppenwolf, and a new group of heroes emerges. And it takes place on that Earth, and eventually, in I believe it's issue 19 of Earth 2, Val Zod is introduced, and he has a different Superman suit. It's kind of more silver and blue, and eventually that series spawns off Earth 2 Society, which I really liked and was one of my highlights for the New 52 run. And so to me, that's kind of the version I like, because I would be like, oh man, if they really delve into like the multiverse aspect and do kind of like a Val Zod Justice League story with even different characters than we know, that would be cool. I don't know if they're ready to do that yet, because I feel like Warner Brothers is still hesitant to do a Justice League film, even though we're going to get the director's cut soon, basically. And I'm interested to see what they do. A lot of speculation. While I would like to see Val Zod, if they do Calvin Ellis, I'm not going to complain, because I can find that very interesting as well.
Maybe could it be just their Coates and J.J. Abrams' take on a black Superman? That take maybe
a black Clark Kent.
Or,
Yeah,
or Clark, or just their own character, or take some from the comic books with the Calvin Ellis and the other
Yeah.
and just kind of make their own thing. Because I would say that people aren't completely, the general audience would not be familiar probably with Calvin Ellis or any other version of a Black Superman, and so they could do their own thing. I think it's interesting that with the multiverse thing coming out of the Flashpoint, I would say yes, it's possible to still have Henry Cavill as that Superman, but I have a hard time thinking they're going to do two big screen versions of Superman at the same time that are similar, other than the fact that they're different races. Does that make any sense?
It does. I'm also curious as to, I think the general audience has evolved a bit. And I think a lot of that has to do with what the MCU is doing. WandaVision's got a different version of Quicksilver than what was presented in the MCU. They brought the Fox version over, so people are kind of familiar with that. I feel like the general audience is a lot smarter now than we give them credit for in the past with these other interpretations of characters. As long as, I think you can do this, as long as the movie's good and is done well, I don't really think people really care what version of the character they get, as long as they find it entertaining and compelling.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
I think they could do that.
Just anecdotal information, and from the BOF Facebook fan group, it was, I see fans will say, and it's a response to this stuff, is like, well, people aren't going to get this, and you've got these films connected, Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot and Momoa, and then the Batman and this, and I'm like, I want to say we're at the point, but I think we've always been at this point. If a movie's good, people are going to go see it, right?
There are people who, remember, people thought Batman Begins was a prequel to 89.
Yeah.
There are people who think the Fox X-Men movies are in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
All they care about is something entertaining on the big screen.
Yeah.
I don't think, we are heavily involved in this stuff, and we know the difference because we are comic book fans.
Yes.
I don't think the general audience really cares at this point. Just make them a good movie, and that's all that really matters to these people.
Yeah. So that's the deal, folks. Looks like we're gonna. Now, look, it's probably far from a done deal, but it seems like to me, with them going to the trades, that this is something that Warner Brothers will push forward and they feel confident about. And it's probably more likely to happen than not. But at the same time, we've seen, you know how things happen. But on the other hand, they pushed forward with Justice League after BVS. We had a whole podcast on that, and but so, I think this is going to happen. I don't have an issue with it at all. I'm
excited for it, and this is what I love about being a fan is here's a tidbit of news, and then we can kind of speculate as to what it can be, like just the possibilities of this is what could happen. And we've got, how many traditional Clark Kent Superman movies have we gotten? There have been a ton. So, it's not crazy to think that they want to try something new.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And, with the success of Spider-Verse and Miles Morales being the star of that movie, this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone, and then off the rumors of, they're going to do something interesting with Batman Beyond and Keaton. I'm not really surprised that this is going forward.
Yeah. I'll say this. And this is just, kind of a full disclosure type thing when it comes to Batman. I'm playing devil's advocate toward myself. You'll have people go, well, would you want a black Batman? And I'm like,
I want a good Batman movie.
Would I rather, in my Batman sensibilities from growing up, and then the fact that I am a white dude, would I rather rather is the word to use, but I'll say it. It's the best way to use it. Would I rather Batman be the Batman, the Bruce Wayne, the white dude we've always had in the comics? Sure. on the other hand, if they, they're doing the Batman thing and say, 15, 20 years from now, hell, with the way things are going with this multiverse deal, Pete, I mean, who knows? But if they did a Batman with, give me a great, who's an awesome African American?
Idris Elba?
Yes. Yeah. That's who I was thinking.
I'd be all for it.
I'd be all for it. I mean,
I've always wanted Denzel to play Two-Face.
Yeah,
I
did too.
Better at being angry than Denzel, and Two-Face.
And if you listen to our interview with Lee Bermejo, that was his inspiration for that Two-Face that he drew for Batman and film way back in the day. So, I mean, people want their heroes that they can identify with, but I think we're at the point where some of that shit doesn't even matter anymore,
Yeah. Again, I just want good movies at this point.
Yeah.
And I hope to God that it's a movie that can come out and unite fandom, because we've been split for so long.
Yeah.
I hope the Suicide Squad's the one to do it. I always hope the next movie's the one that does it, and we all just get on the same page. It felt like Wonder Woman 84 was still kind of, people were like, no, I like it. People were like, no, we don't like it. And so they were like, it's too much of this. It's not enough of that.
Yeah.
And it seems like we just can't seem to get on the same page anymore. So I hope whatever JJ and Coach decide to do, I hope it's done well and it's well received, and we can all just talk about how great it is. To be brutally honest, that's all.
Yeah,
that's
the bottom line, right? That's the bottom line. Yeah.
I want to be able to go on Twitter and talk about how much I like stuff, and I've been trying to keep things positive as of late, and myself included. I'm not the biggest fan of the MCU Spider-Man, and I probably was a little bit more vocal about my dislike for it in the beginning, up until recently. But
that's okay.
Yeah, it's just,
it's okay not to like it if you don't.
It is. It's just I'm tired of like I said, myself included. I'm tired of getting into arguments with people about things I don't like. I would much rather get into conversations about, well, why do you like this and why do I like this and what's different and what works for you and not for me.
Isn't it kind of?
That's what I would like to do.
Yeah, wouldn't it be fun though just to have a nice conversation with someone who doesn't agree with you about, say, the MCU Spider-Man films, and just have civil discourse and you learn something?
I would love to. And again, that's all about who you follow and who you decide to interact with as well.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic there.
No, I was saying it's on me. Like, it's not about it's like, oh, well, if I use a hashtag, it'll get out to a greater audience. And then, but the downside of that is, well, that hashtag goes out to the greater negative audience as well. And then that's where that happens. So maybe it's better to sometimes keep things contained.
We at Batman on Film are proponents of good fandom, civil discourse, and cool stuff. I think it should be a new hashtag moniker thing. Write that down. What did I just say? I don't even remember what I said.
I'll catch it on the replay because I don't even remember it.
All right. So this was a quick emergency episode of the Batman on Film Social Hour, and
Pete, this was a lunch break. Lunch break.
Yes. So, Pete, got anything to plug? I know you were just on, but plug away.
Yeah, follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Zack Snyder's favorite Vero at Pete Illustrated. Follow the show that I co-host with the champion of Long Island, Eric Holzman, straight out of Gotham, straight_O_G on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Facebook on the Straight Outta Gotham page and the Straight Outta Gotham Facebook group. Check out my reviews of Dark Detective, Detective Comics, and Man Bat on BatmanOnFilm.com. On Batman on Film YouTube, check out my toy reviews of Funko Pops, McFarlane figures, Mayfix figures. Check out the Straight Outta Gotham YouTube page for SOG Tonight and the Iceberg Lounge, which are live streams that we do with a bunch of cool people that are always recorded too late for the editor-in-chief of Batman on Film.
That is true. And I will say, since this is an audio-only version of the Batman on Film Social Hour, I was watching Pete spit out all those plugs, and he riffed that off the top of his head. He was not reading it from any copy, correct?
No, I've been doing this long enough now.
Okay,
that this stuff is memorized.
I am extremely impressed. All right, so you can follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film. You can follow just the Batman on Film news feed, stories that come out of Batman on Film from me, Pete, Garrett, Ryan Lauer, Ryan Haas, Eric Holzman, whomever wrote it, Javier Trujillo, whoever. You can find all of that on Twitter at the Batman on Film. If you like what we do here at Batman on Film, want to become a Patreon, go to patreon.com/Batman on Film. And as always, all the shows that are either part of Batman on Film proper or just affiliated with Batman on Film proper, like Pete's great show, Straight Out of Gotham, we're all part of the Batman Podcast Network. Find all the shows at batmanpodcastnetwork.com. And of course, Senior BOF Contributor Ron Haas runs our Twitter feed, or the Twitter feed for that, at BatPod Network. Am I right there, Pete? At BatPod Network. Okay. So for Pete, I am Bill, and we'll catch you next time. And Baba Booey to you all.
You have been listening to the official podcast of the one and only Batman on Film website. On Twitter, follow BOF at Batman on Film and the Batman Podcast Network at BatPod Network. For Jett and everyone at Batman on Film, I'm announcer Rachel. Thanks for listening to the authoritative, definitive, the original Batman on Film.